to the great fans here tonight, to the first-class organization, and to an all-star group of teammates. You are the NBA most valuable player. Congratulations.
MVP, MVP, MVP. Too bad you choked yesterday. Alright, that's besides the point. And now we reach the beautiful and unbelievable playoffs. Yes, we are finally here. We are finally at the playoffs. It took forever. It took several months of work. But we're finally here. We're finally here. And we're going to start off with the first playoff game of the series. The number 1 New Mexico Raptors. Yes, a West team playing on the East. I've explained this plenty of times. Taking on the Charlotte Hornets. That's number 1 versus number 8. New Mexico is number 1, obviously, because they got home court advantage. And they started off great. They made a good run to start off the game, unlike Charlotte, who struggled to score in the beginning. Charlotte had an up and down season. They went through a rough patch. They were doing really well in the beginning, but then injuries to Paul George and John Wall really got them all the way down to 8th place. But they always did enough to make it and stay into the playoff pictures. And when it was all said and done, they made it to the playoffs. How well will they do in the playoffs? Well, they finally scored. I don't know. I mean, will they get past the first round? I doubt it, but still, anything can happen. This is the NBA. I look at MJ, but yeah, they got the GOAT on New Mexico. So yeah, this is yeah, that's the end of the first round. That's the end of the first quarter, 16-10. So after struggling to score in the beginning, they put up some points. This Charlotte. So yeah, the Charlotte's LJ and Alejandro's New Mexico. So yes, as the game continues, speaking of LJ, he hits a 3 right there. He actually played very well in this game, to be honest. Yes, right. But like I always say, you can't really depend on your creative player to really push you through, because he really scored a lot of points for his team, as well as Paul George. They both really try to do work. Just Courtney Lee right there with the bucket. And look at MJ run. Magic Johnson. That is still MJ. MJ to MJ. Michael Jordan. He's really playing like the greatest player of all time now. That Durant's injured. I don't know why. Durant was getting all the love. You saw Durant win MVP. There's Paul George. You saw Durant win MVP. But he's done for the season. So yeah. Oh, Paul George making Michael Jordan look like barbecue chicken down there. That's crazy. What's Magic gonna do? He gonna kick it out to Antoine Walker maybe? I don't know. That's a chubby dude though. So how you like that Raptors arena? I think it came out beautiful. I think good job I did. This is the first time actually showing the arena, because when I did them in the game of the week, they were away. So yes, it's halftime now, as the Charlotte Hornets are down to start the half. Here's some first quarter highlights. Some amazing highlights, man. Amazing. Look at that. Look at that footage, man. Look at that footage. Oh man, this is crazy. You could see by the angle, it's not 2K view, it's broadcast view, so I'm not playing any games. So as much as I want to play Portland games, I'm not gonna play them. Go straight 100 to simulate the whole thing. Hashtag SimNation. I don't know if that's actually what the hashtag's for, but yeah. There's little spoilers on the bottom. If you read, you can see there's some spoilers for upcoming games. But yeah, 31-22 so far at the half. LJ, you better pick it up if you want to win this game, because you're down by a lot. You scored 10 in the first quarter and 12 in the second quarter. It's not gonna get it done, buddy. Not against them big bad Raptors. Even though they're running on a big 2. The big 2 is possibly 2 out of the top 5 greatest players of all time, which is MJ and MJ, Magic and Michael. Yeah. Ooh, speaking of Magic, that's Magic, baby. He does what he does, and he does it well. There's Paul George. This is third quarter. Paul George picked it up. This one, Paul George went into panic mode or attack mode, whatever you want to call it, because that dude really went to work in the third quarter. But guess what? MJ had an answer for it every single time. It's a really good battle between Michael Jordan and Paul George. Paulie G and Mikey J. Speaking of Mikey J, there he is making another basket. And that is the end of the third quarter. It was basically the Paul George, Michael Jordan show. They were just going back and forth at each other the entire time. So now the lead is 41-34, and it's not looking good for Charlotte going into the fourth quarter. Will they pull off the upset? Will they steal game one? Nobody's picking them to win. Nobody. Not even Lance. LJ, not even him. He doesn't even expect himself to win. No, I'm kidding. He probably does expect himself to win. That fool really think he can win, like the whole thing. And he might. You never know. This is the NBA. An 8th seed has gone to the finals before, so we'll see if it happens this time. And Paul George with the steal on LJ. He really tried to work on Michael. Like, what's wrong with him? MJ over LJ all day. And there's a 3-pointer for somebody. I missed it. I didn't see who it was. Look at this. It's over. The fourth quarter highlights was so short because nothing happened. The game is over, man. It was over before the third quarter started. It was over at the tip-off, man. That's how, lopsided this victory was for New Mexico. New Mexico takes game one. We are Jordan Brand player of the game. This is all Michael Jordan, MVP of his own thing. Michael Jordan, player of the game. No, I expect to see a lot of MJ. Like, it's MJ time. This playoff mode. I'm worried for the East. I ain't worried for the West because I'm on the West and I don't gotta see them to the finals if anything. So barbecue chicken for me out here. But yes, I'm about to show you these stats and then we're gonna break down all of game 1s and game 2s of the playoffs to see who won and what and who lost what. Cheer. West first. Wow, what a game. And where we are now, I'm going to show you. This is going to be a little difficult because we don't have daily views. So I got to go through one by one through the box score for the playoffs. So I did games 1 and 2 to try to make this thing go a little faster. So we're going to start off with the 1-8 seed, number 1 seed Golden State Warriors taking on the number 8 seed San Antonio Spurs. As we see right here, the Golden State Warriors win game 1, which is no surprise. 124-115. Klay Thompson 28 points. Russell Westbrook 26 points. You can see some box scores and you can see some stats from the games now. Moving on to game 2, where the Spurs upset the Warriors and steal home court advantage. At least still one game on the road as they defeat the Golden State Warriors 121-119 and tie the series at 1. So, Golden State got some problems on your hands. See if y'all can handle them big bad Spurs. We now check in to game 1 between the number 2 Houston Rockets and the number 7 seeded Phoenix Suns, where we see Phoenix steal game 1 and defeat the Rockets once again, taking home court advantages right from them. As the Rockets take a 9-point loss to Phoenix. Dominique Wilkins 20 points. Dominique had 21 points. Brook Lopez 20 points. LeBron James did all he could with 29 points. Steph Curry had 23, but it wasn't enough in game 1. But in game 2, they figured it out and they defeated the Phoenix Suns pretty easily, and the series is now tied at 1-1. So now we have 2 series that are tied 1-1. Dominique Wilkins did all he could, 34 points, but he did not get the necessary help from Brook Lopez and friends. And Steph Curry was like, we're not going down 0-2 at home, as he dropped 36 points of his own. And that is the Rockets and the Suns. Now I move on to the 3-6 matchup. This was the matchup I said that might actually have some upsets, but there was no upsets in game 1 and 2. That's the spoiler right there. Larry Bird is back, and he's back for blood. 23 points dominated. They 17-point win for the 3rd seeded Dallas Mavericks, easily taking out the 6th seeded Oklahoma City. D-Wade, he showed up, but it's too much. Larry Legend's back, and Tyson Chandler actually stepped up, and Ty Lawson. So they got almost 20 points from 3 guys from game 1. Game 2, Ty Lawson is the man right now in place of the injured what's his name, Penny Hardaway, as Dallas Mavericks are up 2-0, winning both their home games to start off. And yeah, look at the score and all. OKC's big three did work, but no matches for Ty Lawson, McGrady, and Larry Bird as Mavericks. They're cruising right now to start off this series. Finally, we look at the 4-5 matchup. My team, the Portland Trail Blazers, easily destroyed the Los Angeles Lakers. I told y'all I was not worried, and this is why, because I knew it would be easy peasy lemon squeezy. 34 from Anthony Davis, 26 from Damian Lillard, 18 from Brandon Jennings. No barbecue chicken. Look at this. Nobody on the Lakers scored 20 points. Too easy. They almost had to play the whole roster in game 1. Now moving on to game 2, much of the same. Another blowout. Portland easily defeats the Lakers to take a 2-0 lead. And look who did all the work in this game. That's right, me. I dropped 22 on them. Damian Lillard, he dropped 20. Danny Green got 19. Even he chipped in for some points. We ain't even got to play a lot of players. And once again, they almost played their whole team trying to beat us, but they can't do it. Look, because nobody on their team can get over 14 points. That's lockdown defense from my team. So that's your 4-5 matchup, and that's West right now. So Dallas and Portland, they're up 2, while everybody else, they're tied. So it's getting a little intense in the Western Conference first round right now. Check it out. We already saw this game, so we already know who won. Don't gotta go too much detail. It has New Mexico Raptors take a 1-0 lead over the Charlotte Hornets. And now we move on to game 2, where we see an upset. That's right, the number 8 seeded Charlotte Hornets beat the over 60 win team New Mexico Raptors in game 2 and take home court advantage. Even with Michael Jordan getting 24, Karl Malone dropped 25, Paul George dropped 20. It was just too much for New Mexico to handle, I guess. This series just got interesting. We'll see what happens in game 3 if New Mexico can regain home court advantage. So both number 1 seeded teams got upset. Now we share the numbers 2 Hawks taking on the number 1 Cleveland Cavaliers, as the Hawks easily take game 1. James Harden, he does what he does. He scored the ball, but it wasn't enough for Dirk, who should have been an all-NBA team, possibly should have been MVP. And even Robert himself stepped in to drop 20 to help his team win game 1. And just like game 1, Dirk went in and went hard and won game 2, because Dirk should have won MVP probably. But James Harden did all he could to win this game. The boy dropped 42 points, but only assisted 2 times. He just won't pass the ball. He just has the ball too much. And with that attitude, you just cannot win. And that's why they still lost to the Hawks, as the Hawks is like, nope, we are not going to be a top 2 seed team that gets tied 1-1, as they are the only 1-2. Okay, I'm making no sense. The West, they both 1 and 2 got upsetted, and then 1 on the East got upsetted, and number 2 did not get upset. Speaking of upsets, we move on to the 3-6 Magic's Knicks. As the Magic upset the 3rd seeded Knicks, winning game 1 and stealing home court advantage from the get-go. However, I have some very unfortunate news for the Orlando Magics. Game 2 happened, and that's where LaMarcus Aldridge suffered a pulled lower back muscle, and he is unable to play maybe for the rest of this series, and that could be a big blow, and that could be the reason why they lost game 2 as bad as they did. However, Kobe did go in, dropped 27, Melo went in, and Nemo went in, her big 3 went in. The Knicks doing work, but this series just got real interesting. I knew this would be a hard-fought series, but with LaMarcus out, who knows? But the series is tied 1-1. And now we move on to the final series to talk about in this episode for the East and West. The Bulls and the Nets, 4-5 seed in the East. Kyrie Irving went in 32, but Allen Iverson went in 35, but it was not enough for the Bulls, as the Nets easily destroy the Bulls, and they got help from unlikely sources and Chris Middleton and Harrison Barnes. Well, I guess those aren't unlikely sources. Those are like the 3 main scorers on this team. So those are likely sources from the Nets. And then we move on to the Bulls, and it was all Iverson. But like I said, with James Harden, got past the ball, man. And game 2, even with light scoring from evenly distributed scoring, like a lot of guys scored at double figures, a lot of scoring from the whole team, the Nets win. But and on the other side, we just see Julius Erving try to get all the points, 32 points from his 1 assist. So right now the Nets are playing team basketball. The Bulls are kind of playing selfishly. They only had 27 assists. Nets had 35 assists in game 2. Game 1, yeah, the Nets had 28, and then the Bulls had 26. But yes, this was I thought would be the most competitive matchup. But right now the Nets are taking it easy, and they're already up 2-0 over the Bulls. And yeah, that's it for this episode. Nets games 1 and 2 of the first round of the playoffs. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm out. 1.